right, let's work through your problems here. Number 21 says 5 subtracted from a number is equal to 8 times the number plus 2. So that's going to be 5 subtracted from a number. That's going to be x minus 5 is equal to 8 times the number plus 2. So there's your setup on that one. Go ahead and solve. Let's see, what do you get? I subtract the 8x on both sides. That's going to give me negative 7x minus 5 equals 2. Add 5 to both sides. Negative 7x is 7. And finally divide x equals negative 1. Okay, number 50 says, refer to the graph, estimate x when f of x is 8. So remember, this symbol f of x, this is just a fancy symbol for the letter y. So what they're telling us here is y is 8. They want us to know what the x number should be. So I go to y equals 8. I go across to right there. I go down, down, down. Looks like x would be negative 8. You put in negative 6. Maybe it looked like you're just off on your graph a little bit. All right, number 51 says, find the equation of the line that has the given slope and contains the point. Okay. On this problem, I would probably go ahead and use y equals mx plus b. It told me the slope is 2, so I'm going to go ahead and plug that in. Y equals 2x plus b. Then what I need to do is find b. And the way to find b is to plug in this point. So I'm going to plug in 2 for my y number and plug in 3 for my x number. 2 equals 6x plus, oops, no, just 6 plus b, because I'm plugging 3 in for my x number. 2 times 3 is 6. Solving, that gives me b equals negative 4. Answer for that one should be y equals 2x minus 4. Okay, 53 is similar to 51. The difference is, back in 51, they gave us 1 point and they gave us the slope. Here in 53, they give us 2 points. So the first thing we need to do is find the slope. And we use the little formula, m equals y sub 2 minus y sub 1 divided by x sub 2 minus x sub 1. So we're going to have negative 11 minus 4 divided by negative 2 minus 3. Negative 11 minus 4 is negative 15 divided by negative 2 minus 3 is negative 5, so your slope is 3. Now that you have the slope, you go ahead and you use y equals mx plus b. Y equals 3x plus b. And then we're going to do like we did last time. We're going to plug in a point. Now we have 2 points this time. It doesn't matter which one you plug in. You plug in whichever one you like better. I like 3, 4 because it doesn't have any negative signs, and that's one less thing I have to worry about. You can use negative 2, negative 11. You'll get the same answer, but then you got to be careful of your minuses. So I'm going to use 3, 4. So I plug 4 in for my y number. 4 equals, I plug 3 in for my x number, 9 plus b. Solve, b equals negative 5. So that means my answer is y equals 3x minus 5. All right, I think your next one was 55. 55, very, very similar. The difficulty here is going to be some fractions that we have to deal with. Same idea. They give us 2 points. We got to find our slope. I use my slope formula, y2 minus y1, so I'm going to have 4 minus 3 divided by 12 minus 4. So that's going to be 1/8. All right, so when your slope comes out to be a fraction, things are a little harder. You do them the same way, but it's a little more work. Y equals mx plus b again. So y equals 1/8 x plus b Pick one of the 2 points. Again, it doesn't matter which one. I guess I'm going to go with 4 comma 3 just because the numbers are smaller. That would be my reason. No reason you can't use 12 comma 4 though. 3 equals 1/8 times 4 plus b. Well, 1/8 times 4 is a half. Because think of 4 as being 4 over 1, multiply tops, multiply bottoms, reduce. Then we got to subtract a half. So 3 minus a half. I'm going to think of 3 as being a fraction. And then I got to get a common denominator to subtract. So that's going to be, the common denominator is 2. So that's 6 halves minus 1 half, which is 5 halves. Oops, 5 halves. So that should be number. Of course, if you have a calculator that can do fractions, which hopefully you do, there's absolutely nothing preventing you from using your calculator to deal with those fractions. You don't need to show me this work. You're more than welcome to use your calculator. All right, so final answer is y equals 1/8 x plus 5 halves. Okay, next we had 60 part C. In 60 you found this function, which looks correct. And then part C says find f when g of f is 117. All right, so again, we're going to go back up to our function here. Looking at our function, we have 4.3f minus 172. So what you need to do, they're asking you to find the f number, and they're giving you the g number. So we're going to take 117, and we're going to plug it in right here, and then we're going to solve. So we're going to have 117 equals, I gotta go back and look at what the function was, I forgot already, 4.3f minus 172. 4.3f minus 172. My guess would be what you did is my guess would be that you took the 117 and plugged it in for the f number. That would be the most common mistake. Alright, so I'm just going to cheat. You would add the 172, then divide by the 4.3. This computer program that I'm using will solve equations for me. So to speed things up, I'm just going to hit that little solve button, and there's your answer, 67.2. Okay? Pretty simple equation to solve. Add the 172, divide by the 4.3. Alright, and then your last question was 61. The percentage of male workers who prefer a female boss over a male boss increased approximately linearly from 3% in 1980 to 40%. Okay. Here's the way I would do this one, is I would write an equation. What I see is it's increased linearly from 3% in 1980 to 12% in 1998. What that tells me is I'm going to call the year 0 to be the year 1980. So in 1980, it was 3%. And then in 1988, that would be 18 years later, it's up to 12%. So what that gives me is that gives me 2 data points. And it says it's increasing linearly. Once I have 2 points, I can find the equation of the line very much like what we did back in problems in the 50s. So I'm going to find my slope. M equals y2 minus y1, that's 12 minus 3, divided by x2 minus x1, that's 18 minus 0. That's 15 over 18. I can reduce top and bottom by 3, so that's 5 over 6. So now I can use y equals mx plus b, and I know m is 5, 6. Plus, the really nice thing I know is I know b this time. Since I have 0, 3, that 3 is my y-intercept. B is always the y-intercept, so I know my y-intercept is 3. Okay, so now they want the year when 14% of male workers. Now you got to remember what your numbers stand for here. This was 0, which was year. This was 3, which was percent. So when they're giving us 14%, that's a y number. So we need 14 equals 5/6 x plus 3. We're going to subtract 3 on both sides. And then to get the x all by itself, we're going to take this equation and we're going to multiply both sides by 6/5, because the 6 will reduce with the 6, the 5 will reduce with the 5. I'm going to grab my calculator and type that in. 11 times 6 divided by 5. My calculator told me that was 13.2 equals x. So what that tells me, it's going to take a little over 13 years. We started in 1980. 1980 plus 13 years is 1993 would be my answer. They have 2002. Alright, so I made a mistake somewhere. Let's see here. I started in 1980. 1998 is 18 years. Started at 3%, went up to 12%. So I subtracted 12 minus 3 over 18 minus 0. Reduce, that's 5/6. Yeah. B is 3. 14 minus 3 is 11. I don't see my mistake. Alright, I see my mistake. This is kind of stupid. 12 minus 3 is 9. See, everybody makes mistakes. So that should have been a 1/2. That should have been a 1/2. That should have been a 1/2. Oops. That should have been a 1/2, which means we have to multiply by 2. 11 times 2 is 22, so it should be 22 years. So 1980 plus 22 years is 2002. All right, I think that's all your questions. Hope that helps. If you got more questions, let me know.